Good morning. God is awesome, and I just wanted to make a brief statement. Hopefully it could be some thought-provoking statement. You know, God is awesome. A lot of people didn't make it this morning. I pray for their families, and I say that in regards to the kid Austin that was unalived or whatever. So we saw the indictment, Carmelo kid, the indictment for capital murder, not self-defense, I told y'all, I told a lot of people, but now with all the evidence, capital murder. This is why I wanted to make a statement about this. When I think of Story 727, shout out to Story 727 in St. Petersburg, Big Bro Steve, Eric, Aaron, man, a lot of good brothers doing some good work. Not just that organization, but other organizations in poor communities throughout America. When you think of how you have to struggle, anybody have anything they want to donate and give and help out some kids, I suggest you call somebody who you know, who you see the fruit, you see the work. Man, contact them guys from Story 727. But I say that to say this. You see how people struggle when they're not getting government funding, and they're not getting a lot of help from ties to the government. They have to do a lot of grassroots fundraising, feet to the ground. And a lot of times, especially if you in black communities, it doesn't work. Then you look at this kid who just allegedly unalived somebody, and I won't even say allegedly because he actually confessed. And so when we think about that, you think about all of these organizations, poor people trying to raise money, trying to raise funds, trying to just have something for their kids to do during the summer instead of being idle. We used to always say an idle mind is the devil's playground when we were young. That's something my grandma put into us. My mom said it, and I haven't heard it in a long time until I just said it myself. But that is what a lot of people are trying to do, and some can't even go forward because they couldn't raise the funds. Some are going forward with whatever funds they were able to raise, and some probably had to fold their program and ideals altogether. Meanwhile, a kid is able to take another kid's life and raise damn near $1 million. What kind of message is that? Like, I just shared a reel or a post and talked about, it came from it actually came from the LRF family and my brother Van, and it talked about hats. It showed a juvenile, you know, he looked pretty young to me, and a young adult, I'll say it that way. And all he talked about, he was arguing with another person, not really arguing, but he say, you ain't doing nothing in life if you not catching hats. You hear me? This man say, you ain't doing nothing. That's all I care about is catching hats. That's what he's saying. This man care about bodies. That's what's being placed in the minds of, and I say that to say this. I ain't picking on him, and I ain't bragging about the ignorance. I'm saying that to say this. Who can call that ignorant? Who can say he did not sit back and watch a man take another man's life and get damn near $1 million? First of all, they dropped the bond to, I think the bond was $1 million. Then they dropped it to about $250,000. He bonded out. Then he raised so much money on GoFundMe that they was able to move into a mansion, all this crazy stuff. This kid got it going on now. Not no more because he just got indicted. But he might be able to live and stay on bond until the trial. But I would suggest that he gets right with God, enjoy his last few days of freedom, and understand that there's still a form of freedom while you're incarcerated if he does the right thing. You know, understand that there's still forgiveness with God. It don't even matter. You know, especially if this is not a thing that you're practicing, you know. And so I just think it's ridiculous, though. I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. That is unfortunate for both families. One family has absolutely taken advantage of it and has absolutely come out on top. And there could be thousands of other families, black kids, looking at this, saying to themselves, it could be a white kid, maybe doing better, maybe got a better position. And I have to say, I'm sorry to make it black and white, but it will have to be a white kid. Because if he had unalived another black kid, the black community would not have cared, and they wouldn't have made them, they wouldn't have gave all that money up. And not just the black community, but the liberals who helped with the fundraising. The liberals who made their family somewhat, you know, in a position to actually turn that into riches, you know. And so who actually made their family rich. So to the liberals who did that, and also to the black people who so ignorantly paid this family out for their child, unaliving somebody else's child, all in high school. This kid was able to go to school and graduate. Like literally. He was able to graduate, and thank God. That's the other tragedy in this. So his grades was good enough, and I know they say he was suspended and stuff like that. They want to dog him out with all of that. But this kid was on point enough to be on point to graduate this year, and he ended up unaliving somebody. But he bonded out, and he was able to graduate. But the kid he unalived was not able to graduate. The family was not able to see their child graduate, but they got paid. And all I'm saying is, how many poor families realize, how many poor kids are saying to themselves, damn, man, dog came up just by catching a hat, as the young dude said the other day on a live. He made his family rich just by catching a hat. My life ain't doing good anyway, he could think to himself. Why not help my mama? Why not help my sister? Why not? Because I could always go to prison and catch more hats, right? If that's all life is about, I could lay down my life, right? This is what the message is saying. Come on, man. We got to do better than that. Story 727 out here asking for funds. The brother Isaiah asking for funds. There are so many groups out here legitimately and honestly looking for help, looking for people to come together, give $1. I remember my brother Steve told me if all of the followers gave $1, that would cover their whole program. Do you hear me? $1. That would cover their whole summer program for all their kids. You think he got that? Do you think he got that $1? And I could talk about it because I know what I did to help. And for so many others that know what they did to help, God bless you. We appreciate you. Those kids appreciate you. But more than ever, more than anything, they need you. And so, yeah. But I don't think they completed that mission. And if they did, it was through other means by the grace of God. You hear me? It was by people coming out of their own pocket with their paychecks. Maybe a Steve, maybe an Aaron, maybe an Aaron, maybe an Aaron. You know, right? Yeah, man. Maybe the queens, the women involved in Story 727. I don't know all the names, but I know it's a lot of strong, beautiful sisters, women, wives, mothers, grandmothers, aunties, that's right alongside of those men, father, brothers, uncles, and just friends. Yet and still, the message is being sent that you could unalive somebody, and it gotta be a different color, because this would not have happened I mean, just think about it. We see it every day in the black community. We see it every day in poor communities. People of the same skin color unaliving each other, and nobody ain't making each other rich. There's not no fundraising going on after that. So I say that to say this. The message is for that black kid going through that mental health, or that black kid convinced, because the Democrats have sent another message that you can express your feelings no matter what they are, no matter how crazy they are. Express yourself. You have a right to do that. That is the message that the Democrat Party is sending. So when people start receiving that message, and then they see another message that tell me people are bonding out all over the country. No, excuse me. People are doing crimes all over the country and are being let free if they're in the wrong city. People are being let out of the hospital. I mean, people are being let out of jail before the victim is getting out of the hospital if you're in the right city, a blue city. So if I can victimize, and I know this wasn't a blue city, it could have been, because Texas might be red, but there are blue cities in Texas. So I'm not going to act like I'm on that point right now, because I'm not really sure. But that's still a message. And so if this kid, if other poor kids are watching and they're in predicaments where they might have an enmity, a beef, or a situation may come up pretty easily where they can make a quick decision to save their mother, to save their father, to give financial freedom, because idiotically you could take a life and become rich if you take the right life. I mean, they made this boy's family rich. They made this kid's family rich. And now he's just got indicted and he's facing a capital murder. Yeah. I remember I did a whole thing about it, of course. I talk too much sometimes. People ask me all the time, man, you watch Power or whatever their name is, the Power, the new guy, Kane, I think his name is. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. And I used to watch it. Ghost. I'm down with Ghost. And I watched this guy struggle. And I watched the story of Ghost. And you gotta keep it real to yourself. We know Ghost wasn't perfect. But we know Ghost fought against his wife. I don't even remember the wife's name no more, because that's how long I gave up on it. So we know Ghost did a lot of dirt to put himself in a position to do better. We know Ghost had a girl, and we remember the first episode when Ghost talked about his wild dreams. First episode ever of Power, maybe the second. Between the first two episodes, Ghost made it clear that to his wife, like I said, I forget her name, little short black chick, beautiful chick, but hood dreams, only dreams of being a hood queen. When Ghost told her his dreams of doing this just a stepping stone. I want to make a business. I want to be able to give Tyreek and the sister something beautiful, something to build upon, a legacy, a business, so they don't have to do any other things we did. She laughed at him, told him he sounded like a fool, and basically said, you ain't the man I want to be with. I want to be with the Ghost that I started out with, doing dirt, taking lives, making money. If y'all love Power, we remember that. All right, and so Ghost fell in love with a chick who had career mind, white chick. That ain't work out, blah, blah, blah. Things got a little whatever. But that ain't got much to do with it. But it do, because people didn't know why. People said, oh, look, he in love with, no, he was in love with this lady wanting to be more than the hood mentality. This lady would actually build on what he dreamed of for his children. And so that was what he fell in love with. But that's not my point. I tell you why I stopped watching Power. I just thought, You know, it's silly me. I can't get mad. I thought his story was beautiful. He finally became in a position where he was running for mayor or governor. I ain't really sure. I forgot. It's been that long. I think it was mayor. And he was going to win. And not Tommy, not the wife, not the many people that wanted Ghost dead. And you saw it happening because they started showing episodes when everybody just started having reasons to hate Ghost, including his son. But we saw he was trying to do the right thing for his son. Even though they kind of made it look like he was going to switch out on his son and make him do a year or two and then get him out. I wanted to say all that because somebody would have said, oh yeah, but he was going. All right. For him to get killed by his son, and that's supposed to be some type of celebration. And he told his dad before he took his life, you're in the way. I had a problem with that. And shortly thereafter, in Detroit or Chicago, a black kid took his mother's life because she was in the way and she had an inheritance for him, and he became a millionaire, put it in a rap song, and got busted. And that would be the message. That's the message. How many ignorant people, how many sons out there are thinking that way now? And so, yeah, I had to get away from that mentality, that type of celebrating, that poor black mentality that makes a person say that their parent is in the way, and I would rather take their life and get a little bit for free to build upon than to just see them hopefully one day be able to take care of them. Take those nuggets that they gave me and build upon them. I mean, like, and that is how, and you've seen this a lot now. I mean, we've seen the success that they took and made these guys heroes, made these guys something that the youth look up to. And I remember one day, somebody in my family actually tried to make me understand it. And I was like saying to myself, somebody younger than me, make me try to understand it. And I said to myself, my God, if he only knew how he sounded. And that let me see the situation even more different. You know, I mean, like when people actually try to make you understand Tariq's mindset of your time is over and my time is now. Come on, man. That's what dope boys say to, I mean, like, really? Yeah. And so to see this kid family turn rich, to see the black community come together and give hundreds of thousands of dollars to almost turn another kid's family and kid into millionaires after taking a white kid's life. You say it don't matter what color he was. What color? It matter. Because black kids take black kids' lives every day in the ghetto. I hate to say it. I hate to actually say it, but I ain't bragging about it. I'm just keeping it 100, and I'm keeping the facts real so you would understand why I'm saying it must be a white life. It could possibly be a Asian life, maybe close. No, possibly not really, because they ain't got enough. It won't be enough. It might. It just depends. But definitely, it probably need to be a white person's life. And as soon as that black kid get in trouble for unaliving that white kid, the black community has started somehow to be led by idiotic political leaders and emotion to the point where we can't even stick our fingers in the wind and tell which way the wind blowing. Can't tell, we can't read the room, and we're gonna raise money and celebrate the kid that unalived another kid and turn him into a millionaire. But there are non-profit organizations all throughout poor communities all in America that are starving for $1, and they still starving. Some of the programs are being shut down during summer because we are celebrating people that take life rather than kids that want to try to start living life. Let's think about that, man. Come on. That's it, man. Got to get back to work. I'm at another stop, my beautiful little stop, Rusty Bellies, where I like to look at the water. Remember that ship I used to talk about? I used to always put the camera on a boat that was upside down, and I used to call it topsy-turvy. You know, life, always topsy-turvy. And I say, don't give up in life. It gets topsy-turvy. And I say, one day, with patience, because the boat was topsy-turvy for 6 months. Actually, since the hurricane. So that's been almost a year since the last hurricane. And with faith, God comes and turns your life upside, right side up. You could be in an upside down, you could be in a funk, you could be going through it, whatever. Have faith, be patient, and God will right your life. Especially if your intentions and your heart is true. God is good, man. Let the meditations of our hearts and the words of our hearts and our mouths be acceptable in the sight of God. If you can, bless somebody today, touch somebody, reach somebody. Amen. God is good. I'm out.